change my settings, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, y'all. Welcome to the break room at Charma Talk Live. And some stuff got to come from the news desk, and some stuff got to come from the break room because I'll be needing a hot beverage to go with some of this stuff. Hey, Google, turn down one. I'll be needing a hot beverage to go with this stuff. Okay. I'm reporting from the newsroom because, no, not the newsroom, the break room, because I need to give you all the story before the story that's not going to be told from the newsroom. So, I ran into something very interesting this weekend. Y'all know we're following this Color Purple saga slash travesty, if that's what you want to call it. And I ran across something this weekend. This channel is based on what happens in the back room. This channel is based on what happens behind the scenes. So my job is to stay behind the scenes and see what be going on. So I can come tell y'all what's going on. So this was unexpected, but I ran across it and I said, let me watch this and see what's going on. There was a behind the scenes of the Color Purple. No, there was a behind the scenes on Oprah Winfrey's Color Purple. So they kind of did like a behind the scenes story about the making of the Color Purple. See, that's what this channel is for. This channel is to tell the story about what happened in the back room of all of these productions. The back room, the making of. So I was very happy to run across this particular show done by Oprah Winfrey because it was right up my alley for what I was taking back to the news desk. So, what it was this was Oprah Winfrey. Why can't I say? Oh. This was Oprah Winfrey. See, just one shot of coffee does it. This was Oprah Winfrey documenting her journey on the walk of her Color Purple. The show started off with Oprah Winfrey. She was talking about how she was honored to come on and bring us the Color Purple because it's been so dear to her heart. And, you know, she's been loving the Color Purple since the book by Zora Neale Hurston. I think I got that off the top. I'm going to fact check it. Everything is going to be fact checked around here. Zora Neale Hurston, if I'm not mistaken, she wrote a book called The Color Purple, if y'all didn't know. If y'all just started at the movie stages, this started off as a book. So Oprah Winfrey was talking about how she was honored and above honored to be picked by Steven Spielberg himself to be featured in The Color Purple. Because remember, when the original Color Purple came out in 1985, Oprah was not yet Oprah. So we're going to talk about her rise from the chair to the Color Purple to being the executive producer of the Color Purple. So this story started with her. So I'm going to start with her. She went on to talk about how she was a budding journalist out of Chicago. You know, she was on Good Morning Chicago or AM Chicago or something like that was her show. I used to watch it. I lived there. So she was just starting out. So someone called Steven Spielberg when they were looking for Miss Sophia and said, hey, look on channel it was 579, whatever channel that was in Chicago, look at that girl and see if she will be appropriate for who you're looking for to play Sophia. And it was Oprah Winfrey. Somebody called Steven Spielberg and said, hey, look at Oprah Winfrey and see if she fits the model for what you're looking for The Color Purple. He did such a thing. And he called her and said, hey, I'm interested in having you come in for a read on The Color Purple. And she was floored. She was shocked. She was surprised. She valued for it and everything because, believe me, before anything pertaining to The Color Purple came out, she was in love with the book. The Color Purple book was the story of her life. The Color Purple book was how she set her career on how this story related so much to her true life. So this was a true blessing for her to be called in to read for this movie that she has been a beloved person for the book. Now, let me go back and say what she also did say. Like I said, this is direct from what she said. This is not the story from how I feel about the people that are attached to the movie. My story and my platform is to give you all the backroom story, the behind the scenes story. Everything here is going to start from what happens behind the scenes. So that's what I'm giving you. So fast forward. Oprah Winfrey gets called in to audition for The Color Purple. Now, mind you, she has this legacy attached to this book. Side note, before she did this, when she went to book, when she was still on TV, she went back. She said she bought her book. She was so in love with the story. She went back and she bought out every Color Purple book they had and gave them out to her people, her family, her friends, because she wanted people to love this movie as much as she loved this. I mean, this story. It's not a movie yet. She wanted people to love this story as much as she loved this story. So she was really calling this thing to her. She was really calling this thing to her. So Oprah's tell y'all, Oprah's gonna get a couple of thumbs up for some things that she did in here. So we know where we stand on the campaign, but my job, my platform, my channel is to give y'all facts. I said the facts. So I'm gonna give you all the story as it is. I'm gonna give it to you as it is. So she went and bought all of the books, the Color Purple books, and she just gave them out to people. She was in love with the story. Okay, she gets called in to read for The Color Purple. She did her own screen test and she was amazing. Steven Spielberg was amazed by Oprah Winfrey, and they said that she did the best read of her life and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Okay, fine. Long when you do a movie, if you all are not familiar with what goes on behind the scenes of a movie, stick around on this page. You will get the clear inside of what will be going on around there. Stuff that y'all will never see or never have heard of that happens in the back room. But she did her screen test, and then she went back to her normal life. Because when you do a screen test, it's always the hurry up and wait, shut up and wait, don't call us, we'll call you. Those are the three things that you hear coming off of a movie set when you do a movie or a TV show or a stage play or whatever you auditioning for. Ain't no follow up, ain't no call, ain't none of that. You gotta wait till they call you. So she did her screen test. Apparently, she impressed Steven Spielberg. He said, "Great, don't call us, we'll call you," kind of thing. She went back to her show. She didn't hear anything for months. No, weeks turned to months. And at that point, she was like, now mind you, she still wasn't Oprah Winfrey yet. She was just starting off on TV. So she thought that she did not get the part. So she was doing everything she can in preparation for the part, leading up to her getting the part. She was taking care of her weight. She was going to the gym every day. She said she signed herself up to a fat farm. She signed herself up to a fat farm because she was trying to lose the weight. And when she was at the gym working out, that is the day when she said she was trying to reconcile with herself that she did not get the part. And she said, you know what? You know what? I do believe I'm not going to get this part, Lord. So I'm giving this to you and I'm moving on, because she believed that she didn't get it. So she said, God, I'm giving it to you. And you do what you want to do with it. But right now, I don't believe I'm getting it. So I'm giving it to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Right? She said that afternoon, that very day that she said, I'm letting it go and I'm giving it to God, she got a phone call. And they told her, it was Steven Spielberg, was on the phone for her. And he told her, hey, I hear you at a fat farm. You trying to go to a fat farm? And she was like, yes, I'm trying to go to a fat farm. He said, if you lose 1 pound, You will not get this role that I'm calling to offer you right now. Oprah was all excited. She was like, okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, I got you. Thank you for the role. She said that she was so excited, she went straight to Dairy Queen or Wendy's or somewhere because she was losing weight, thinking that she needed to lose weight for the part. But Sophia is very specific, which you all saw when she did the movie. So the pounds that she was going to try to lose, he did not want her to lose them. So she went to Denny's and she got the part of Color Purple. Very excited, life changing, life changing. Now, mind you, Oprah still had a job. She was a TV host. So when you shoot a movie, you're going to be gone anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on what the movie is. So she was like, people were saying, okay, well, wow, you got the role. What are you going to do with your job? She was like, they're just going to have to give me the time off. And then somebody said, what if they don't give you the time off? Oprah said that she was willing to quit her job to do the Color Purple. So if AM Chicago, if that's the name of the show, I think it is, did not give her the time off to do this part, she said she was going anyway. Lump that. She was going to be Miss Sophia in the Color Purple. I don't know how long my break is. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this in time for my break. So she went to do the Color Purple. She got called in with everybody else, and of course Whoopi Goldberg and everybody else cast for the show. So it was like a dream come true for her. And you know, Color Purple went on to become a national success. I will add facts in later on. Right now, I'm just giving you all the report from the break room, as I don't have time to put a whole production of this together, but I will when I make it to the newsroom. So this is just the weekend edition of what I caught that I wanted to share as I'm leading into the story coming from the news desk about this. So Oprah gonna have to get some points back, y'all. She gotta get some points back. I'm gonna tell y'all she gotta get some points back. Okay. So fine, Color Purple going on to be a big success. You know, we loved it. It did what it was going to do. Okay, I'm not talking about that. Moving forward. Off the backs of the Color Purple original movie, a gentleman by the name of, I'm going to fill his name in because I don't know it right now, decided that it would be in his best interest to take the Color Purple to the stage. And he took the Color Purple to the stage, and it was very, very successful on the stage. It was a Broadway play, and it was a very beautiful Broadway play. I saw it myself a couple of times. I think I've seen it twice. Now, about the stage play, let me give y'all a couple of things that we probably didn't know. Like I didn't know. Wait, that's my song. Okay, so moving forward, I'm gonna give y'all a couple of nuggets in here. You would not think the way that these people are acting that this was their first time doing the Color Purple and doing this and that and the other. Fantasia, who was the star in Color Purple on Broadway, she was already in Color Purple. So for her to get this lead role for the TV version was not a far off thing to do, okay, because she was in the Color Purple already. So to me, you would think, okay, they always go back and pull the people who did it first. So let's say they're always going to go back and get the ones who did it for the theater and say, hey, you did it good here. Let me put you over here and see if you can bring that magic. I think that that's what they would do, but they don't. They start this stuff off like they never knew you. Like they never knew you. So even though Fantasia was already being the star by the time her Color Purple came up, she was already in Color Purple on Broadway. So when Oprah Winfrey came around to do the Color Purple, she tapped on Fantasia. She was like, hey, I want you to come and be Miss Celie in my Color Purple. Steven gave me some money, and I'm going to do the Color Purple. The studio gave him some money. He gave me some money, and I want to spend my money on you in my Color Purple. Fantasia said no. Fantasia told Oprah no. She said that she did not want to bring Celie back. What you mean you don't want to bring Celie back? She told Oprah Winfrey no. She did not want to play Celie no more. She played Celie on stage. She said she didn't want to play Celie no more. Had nothing to do with the production. To her, Celie was too close of a representative to her own natural life. So she was not. It was pretty painful for her to channel Celie again. It was so she told Oprah no. Somewhere down the line, she reconsidered and decided to take the role. Another thing that y'all did not know, because I kind of think I knew, but I can't remember if I knew for real. Jennifer Hudson, see, all these people that's attached, y'all don't know because ain't nobody saying nothing. Because now, if the Color Purple was doing all of that, what they thought it was gonna do, people would be standing up saying, "I did it, I was in it, I remember doing that, bro." You would hear all of these things, but you don't hear nobody saying nothing about this. Jennifer Hudson was in this play. Jennifer Hudson was in Color Purple on Broadway, and you already know who she was playing, Suge Avery. Jennifer Hudson was singing "Push the Button, Push the Button." She was killing it though. So her stage version was in The Color Purple. So now I'm thinking, okay, so if she did it on stage, the same way they went back and got Fantasia, who did it on stage and invited her to do it, why did they not invite J-Lo? I mean, J-Lo. Why did they not invite Jennifer Hudson to come back the same way they were trying to pull on some of that magic from the screen? I don't know. And try to put some of the magic from the stage and put it on the screen. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and find out because that's kind of strange. She had on that same red outfit and she was shaking the butt. She was doing all of that. Jennifer Hudson she played Suge Avery in the stage version of The Color Purple. Before this ends, I'm going to get her year. See me and Google. Gingy, don't come outside. Gingy got to stay at work. I don't know when they get to go on break. Okay, I got time to finish this. I got an hour break, so we can get this done in an hour. So, Jennifer Hudson was Suge Avery. Push the button. She was pushing the button. So she was in The Color Purple. Fantasia's in The Color Purple. You know who else was in The Color Purple on the stage play? And you don't know this stuff because nobody's saying that. See, that's why I got to be here. That's why I got to be here because it's so much stuff that's going over our head. So if Fantasia was in Color Purple on stage, which we knew already, Jennifer Hudson was in the stage play Color Purple, which ain't nobody talking about. You don't hear nothing about it unless you were there to see her in it. Danielle was also in. I'm trying to get her last name. I know everybody's last name until I need to know it. Danielle was also in The Color Purple on stage. She played Miss Sophia when Color Purple was on stage. You don't hear anybody saying anything about it. You don't never hear any, "Oh, that's the girl who was in The Color Purple when it was on stage." You don't get anything. You just, everybody's coming off like they brand new to it. You want me to play Miss Celie in The Color Purple? You want me to play Sophia? Everybody acting brand new. I don't understand. So I'm gonna do a story from the newsroom about this because I need to know why y'all acting like nobody's saying, never hear nobody saying, "Yeah, I was in it on stage, so I feel honored to come back and put this in the movie." Nobody's saying nothing. And I wonder why. I don't know if they can't do it. I just don't know. So there's 3 people that was in Color Purple on Broadway that I have questions about. We know Fantasia, that was a given. We know that. I want to know why they did not ask Jennifer Hudson to be a part of this when she was in it on stage. And I want to know why they're not saying anything about Danielle Brooks. Her name is. Why they're not saying anything about Danielle Brooks being in this play already. She was in it on stage. But now they're acting like, me? You want me to play? She's been in it already. So I'm just acting like I don't understand why they acting like everybody's brand new to this. So she's played this role before. She didn't play it on stage, but she's played Sophia before. Fantasia played Celie before. So why y'all acting like this is a brand new play? Yes, it was a musical when y'all did it. So that's not even questionable. So I don't understand what that's about. So moving on down the line. So now we got 3 people. So out of Found that out from my documentary, right? Very happy about that. So now we're up. We're gonna move this story up to Color Purple 2022. I guess that's when it came out. Remind y'all, I'm gonna fact check all this stuff. 2022. So now we got Danielle. Now we got Fantasia. We scrapped Jennifer Hudson. We're gonna find out what that is. Let's move to Taraji. So they channeled Taraji to play Suge Avery, which I think was the best choice for this. I would have never considered Jennifer Hudson to play her in the movie. I don't know why yet. I'm gonna find out because from what I saw, the clips of her, she was killing it. But to me, it just, I don't know why. I'm gonna find out why. She got the chops. We know she can sing. You know, she can roll them lyrics and she can dance. She already got the EGOT situation going on. You know, she already won her award when she did Dreamgirls, which she killed it. So we know she can pull it off, but I do want to know why they didn't do that. And they chose to go with Taraji. I'm gonna find out if there was even a discussion about it. But everybody's sitting in the back like they don't know, but something. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of that. All right, so now we have to Color Purple. This show that I'm doing from the break room is to discover what happened behind the scenes. I'm not talking about the fighting or whatever the case is. I need to find out what happened to these people's trailer, to these people's, her saying about the money, all that other kind of stuff. I need to know what happened in the back room. So let me let Oprah off the rook. Let me let Oprah off the hook right here. It is not Oprah Winfrey's job to babysit the people and make sure that they get their trailers and their cars. That is not Oprah Winfrey's job. We automatically gave Oprah Winfrey that job because she Oprah and she's supposed to be the almighty person to look out for the black people on set. Remind me to side note that. So we are really giving her a hard time about what we thought she should have done to make sure they were good. She did not know. When you are the executive producer, believe me, when we produce things around here, everybody got their part. You know, we do reach over into other categories and do other things like that. But if I'm the director, my job is to direct. I'm not supposed to worry about hot dogs and hamburgers in the back room because I was not assigned that position. So as executive producer, Oprah Winfrey did not know that, and nor was that her part. Now, in this documentary, she did spend a lot of time on the set. She personally was there when Danielle did "You Told Harpo to Beat Me." She was there for that, and she was there when Suge Avery was singing "Sister." She was there for all of the key points that we know about from the original movie. She needed to be there to walk those things through. I thought that was cool. So, like I said, don't turn me off. Oprah is getting some points out of this because my job is to bring y'all the real. So she does get off the hook for that. It is not her job to find out or to manage. She is not sitting up there as the executive producer. Her job was to get the money from Steven Spielberg, who got the money from Warner Brothers to bring us The Color Purple. I know that lady at home like, you ungrateful son of a... I know she at home talking about us. You ungrateful... I know she at home talking about us. But that really wasn't her job. So she does get a pass for that. Now, we are going to get into that part. This movie was the second or one of the top movies that featured an all-black cast. The last one that I looked up being The Color Purple, which again is affiliated with the same people. Steven Spielberg, Quincy Jones, the same people, the same layout of people are here for the last production that had an all-black cast. So what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing the problem. I'm seeing that, and we're gonna talk about Chicago. We're gonna talk about that. Um, I'm seeing that when it's an all black cast, a lot of technicalities that are taken care of in the production from the studios end is thrown away. Now, everybody's giving Taraji a hard time saying that why she gotta have a rental car. She does have to be picked up. I'll tell you why. She does have to be picked up. Everybody, she should be able to walk like everybody else. No, she should not be able to walk like everybody else. She should not be able to drive herself like everybody else. She cannot drive herself like everybody else. I'm gonna tell you why. When this studio put out this movie with this budget being so big, there was no way in the world that your cast, hold on, your um principal characters, that's what they're called. When you do a movie, you have your principal characters. Your principal characters are the people who are already famous, who already are starring in this movie. They're called the first on the call sheet. Principal characters are people that are first on the call sheet. So that's your stars, that's your Fantasia, that's your Taraji, that's your Danielle, that's your Corey. And so everybody on the call sheet. So your principal characters should not drive themselves. And when she said it's an insurance liability problem, she was telling the truth. Because let's think about it. Okay, so let's say I'm a dancer. I am a dancer. Let's say if I'm a principal dancer in the theater company and we're doing the play and I'm a principal dancer and they tell me, okay, we're going to get you a rental car, drive yourself. What if I crash? Now I'm under a contract. I'm under a contract with these people. So what if they get me a rental car and I'm driving my rental self home? I'm for rent anyway, so right now. So I'm driving my rental self home with the rental car y'all gave me, and I have an accident. After working the 14 to 16-hour shift dancing on stage, every time you say cut, every time you say cut, every time you say cut, I'm dancing for hours on end, trying to give you the best of me. And I go home tired after 14 hours, and somebody crashes into me and break my leg. And I'm under a contract to be the principal dancer in the play. Whose fault is that? It's y'all fault. I should not be driving myself. This has nothing to do with being bougie. This has nothing to do with her thinking she's too good. She is an insurance claim. So their job is to protect her and all of the other principals, the extras, the day players, all of the people. The extras are people who just get a job and be happy to get there. They come get their money and they happy to and hope like they can be seen on screen when the movie come out. Been there, done that. The day players are people who are hired for a day or two or three to shoot a particular scene and go home. They're not attached to the whole movie. Been there, done that. So there's no way that she should have been driving herself, and for them saying do it for everybody. You didn't have to do it for the whole Color Purple cast, but you were supposed to do it for your principal characters. I don't even know how that part of the discussion got passed. So that again goes back to it being, I think, an all black cast. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. The last one that I saw that they had a full all black cast like this, according to my Google research, was The Wiz. Same thing. So y'all don't care? Y'all don't care because they're black that they gotta drive themselves and they should just be happy to be here? No, that's a liability. That's a liability. So no, she cannot drive herself. So now we're up to the Color Purple. We're casting. Oprah got her dream team in place. Everybody's shooting the scene. We're doing it. When I was looking at this behind the scenes, they spent so much money on the aesthetics. That's where the money went, to the aesthetics. You know how this movie started at the tree that Celie and Nettie were playing in? I think that's a real tree. So they built the entire Color Purple setting around that tree. The Sugar Shack that they were singing in, the juke joint, they built that It was a swamp there. And when the director saw it, or whoever does the set, they saw it and they scoped it out. They was like, that's the lake that the juke joint need to be on. So they had the water. So they constructed an entire juke joint from the land out into the water, and they had to make it float. Do you know how much money that would have cost? So I see why this budget was so high based on the show that I seen this weekend. I know why now. So they built the floating juke joint. I gotta go back and see what's up with that tree. That tree was real, or I don't know if they made that tree or invented that tree. I gotta go back. But I do think that the tree was real. But everything else was built around the location of that tree. So it's gonna cost a lot of money. So behind the scenes and everything, the people that's building this stuff, and they had, this was a period piece, so they had to make sure that the clothes were right. They had to make sure that the cars were right, because if anything was not in the proper time period, it was not gonna match. But I am gonna say something that my daughter told me. She said, I got a problem with their teeth being so white. And I was like, what is she talking about? But she does make a good point. She does make a good point. Who had shiny white B1s like I have? Who had these back then in those times? So for everybody to walk around with this beautiful bright smile, it did not make sense. That's true. So I'm gonna give her them points because that was a good side note. Everybody's teeth was white. Everybody's teeth was white, which was that was a conflict. But only ones that people, she's in production too, so she's gonna notice that kind of stuff. So y'all got to give us producer people and us film and movie people, y'all got to give us a pass, because we know there's some more stuff than we got business noticing. We should not be paying attention to how white these people's teeth are just because people's teeth back then shouldn't have been that white. We have no business doing all that, but that's just the nature of what we do. So, and she was telling the truth. She was telling the truth. So it did hit a chord. So I'm looking at behind the scenes of where this money went. So I saw aesthetically, I saw wardrobe is a big expense because it had to match. The cars was a big expense because it had to match. Makeup was a big expense because they had to age these people. And what goes behind the scenes into aging somebody from being 20 to 60 in the course of a movie is hard. Is hard. It's not just, oh, make them old, give them some gray. No, you have to put cracks in faces. You have to do all kind of things so that the age would be believable. And I think that they did a really good job of aging everybody up. So they did a good job there. So behind the scenes, we see what happened. We see what happened. But I also believe that the studio was not trying to give what they give. Now, let me get to Chicago. Another one of my beloved movies. Chicago came out in the 70s. To hold on, let me be clear real quick. Some stuff I'm gonna have to check on the spot. Okay, I still got time. Don't let me run my lunch over fooling with y'all. What year did Chicago come out on the stage?
1975. According to Wikipedia, the original Broadway production opened on June 3rd, 1975 at the 46th Street Theater and ran for 936 performances until August 27th, 1977.
Dang! Didn't know that. The stage play, Chicago, came out in 1975. And it ran for 2 years. It did 937 shows on stage. So that was Chicago. So if Chicago came out, let's say around the same time as The Wiz came out, and then The Color Purple came out 10 years, they're relatively in the same group. That's fine and good. But the thing about Chicago is the cast is not black. So half of the problems that were encountered with the all black cast, I don't think was encountered with is Chicago. I'm gonna do a comparison. That's on my list. I'm gonna do a comparison because Chicago, that's my jam. That is my jam. And then we'll talk about the modern version, and we'll talk about how that did in comparison to the color purple. We're gonna definitely cover that. Big difference. Big difference. Big difference. So we're definitely gonna cover that. But what I'm saying is Chicago was a stage play. Then it went to film. It did very good in film. And then it went back to the stage. And it's doing very well. They have not had any staff problems, any principal character problems, and you don't hear about anything because they were given what they needed to do their job. Love Chicago. I'm gonna go back and see. So if I'm putting this on the news desk, I'm putting a pin in this. So we gotta cover that. So I'm just thinking, I'm just chalking this up to them saying, hey, do what you can with what you got. But I really do think that it was a little discrimination here. And I hate to be the one to say that, but I just think it was a little discrimination here. Like I said, I produce films. And to me, considering that I produce with no money, I have to lean on the kindness of my actors and my scraped up budget and my pitched in budget and my crew donating and volunteering their time, except for the ones we have to pay in craft services. So those are 5 things that I have to have covered on my end. So let's say if I'm the executive producer and I want to shoot a movie, which we did, it is my job because I don't have no budget and I don't have nobody giving me no money to say, hey, make this work and do what you gotta do. I don't have nobody saying that. So this production falls on my back because I'm the one who brought it. So it is my job to make sure that what is needed is required. So with my actors, I had to house them. I had to pick them up from the airport. I had to get them somewhere to sleep. I had to feed them because it is my job as the executive producer in my case that I have to make sure that these things are done because we ain't got no budget and I don't have a department that says, hey, our job is to handle this and then I can go about my business. I was not able to hand this off to nobody. So if we was doing the movie, I had to go to the airport, send people to the airport. We had to go to Kroger's. We had to go to Walmart. We was cooking and we was bunking up because we are the ones who wanted to bring this movie without no budget. So sometimes you have to do what you have to do. I do commend Oprah when she found that I want to know what the discussion was that she had with people that they didn't have their trailers. So when she did find out that they did not have their own trailers, she did go in and say, hey, what's going on with that? Why don't they have their own stuff? Which to me, I'm going to talk about that because that don't sit right with me. And first off, why would y'all not do that? I want to know who was the person in charge of the principal characters. So that's what I want to find out. I want to find out what that discussion was because there is no way in the beautiful heavens that I'm going to shoot a movie with Taraji P. Henson, Fantasia, Danielle, who's a newcomer, and all of these beautiful actresses are sharing a trailer. These trailers are not that big. They're not that big. So how y'all gonna, unless y'all gave them a big trailer and they own, I don't even see how that can work. I don't even see how they can share a trailer. I can't see it. I don't understand. I never seen a trailer other than the natural size trailers that I seen on set. So I don't understand how they was in there. I'm gonna find out what size this trailer was. I'm putting that on my list too. Okay, I'm almost done. I don't even understand how they did that. I don't understand how they even gonna call themselves putting them in the same trailer. That I can't get past my brain. So I want to know if Oprah Winfrey went off because she know that's unacceptable. This is not her first movie. This is not their. This is Danielle Brooks, and this is Fantasia's first movie in a studio picture. Now, to me, that seems weird to me because you would think that they've been in other studio pictures before, but they have not. So They probably didn't think anything of having a rental car. They probably didn't think anything of sharing a trailer because if this is their first studio picture, they probably thought that that was normal. That's not normal. That ain't normal. Like I said, I'm a low budget. I'm a low budget actress that don't act in nothing, and I'm a low budget producer. But there is no way that I'm going to have my principal characters sharing a trailer. I don't even understand how that happened. So I'm gonna table that because that needs to be researched and found out. I need to find out the person who in charge of that. I need to find out who in charge of that. Food. There is a specific department called craft services when you do a production. So if the principals, who are the ones that everybody takes care of, everybody caters to the principals. The extras, I've been in movies, and as an extra, you get no respect, none. You just might as well just be happy that they called you in to be on the movie. That's how little respect you get as an extra in the background character, because nobody cares if you're there. They don't need you. But I don't understand how these principal characters did not get fed, because when you have craft services, you are catering to your crew. So I'm going to say their focus was on the crew, the people that were shooting the project. I'm going to say that their focus was the crew, since it wasn't the primary, the principal cast members. But on a good day, you're going to feed your crew, and you're going to take care of your principals and everybody else on their own. When we shot The Weatherman in Chicago on Michigan Avenue on the coldest day in the world, we were out there and we couldn't even go in the building. We were ice skating. We could not go in the building. They had to pass out fingertip warmers and toe warmers. And other than that, we was on our own. We was on our own. So if you couldn't cut it, you just couldn't cut it. And if you know anything about Chicago, on Michigan Avenue, which is right off the lake, can you imagine being out there and you can't even go in the building because the principal actors were in the building? So we had to stay outside all day, and we were out there shooting from 8 a.m. to 6 outside. And the most courtesy we got was a fingertip warmer and a toe warmer. We didn't even get food. Nobody cared. It was cool. At least I was in ice skating scene, so I got a little bump up. I got a little spec. I didn't get no respect, but I got some spec. And they cared a little bit. And I think they gave me an apple. Yeah, but yeah. But I don't see how your principal characters don't get fed. I've never heard of such a thing before. So much to the point that they had to call Oprah Winfrey and tell, hey, they're not feeding us. Now, mind you, they've all been in other productions and other shows. Even if this was Fantasia's first movie and Danielle's first studio movie, they've been on other stuff and they know what craft service look like. So for them not to have got fed is crazy to me. So like I said, this story is coming off of the backs of what I saw this weekend. I still got one for the news desk, which is gonna bring this whole thing full circle. But I don't understand how that happened. But I do see where the budget went. The budget went in the back room. The budget went to the set builders. The budget went to the tree planters. The budget went to the wardrobe department. The budget went to the car people, and the salaries, I guess, for a wardrobe and all of those people. But I'm still having a whole problem with at least take care of your principals. I've never heard of this before. So that's why I keep saying that. Please forgive my redundancy in saying I don't understand how they didn't take care of their principal actors. I don't understand how Taraji was even faced with this kind of thing. I know Fantasia was like, I don't want it to drive myself. You shouldn't drive yourself either, because if somebody is watching this set and they knowing y'all they're doing this, and even though most sets are closed and people don't know, but if somebody's there and they see you getting into your own rental car and they follow you home and bust you up, we can't do the movie no more because you done got your head busted because you driving yourself home from the set. That don't even make good sense to me. And I'm also going to research what other movies were they giving rental cars and told to drive themselves home. I never heard of it. I never heard of it. I wouldn't even do that. Hey, you're the star of my movie, but go to Enterprise and pick up your car and meet me on my set. Something happens, you don't get there. My movie is in the ground because I'm spending money waiting on you to pick up your rental car and get to my set. But if something happens to you, that's my fault. I should have took care of that. That should have been taken care of. So I don't even understand how we got this like this. So definitely wasn't on her. And for everybody saying she ain't good, she should not have been driven herself. What else did I want to talk about here? Yeah, I wanted to touch on this Jennifer Hudson being on the stage play. The one, of course, Fantasia was. Danielle Brooks was in the stage play of it. But everybody acting like this their first time seeing or being asked to be in The Color Purple when they by far was already involved in The Color Purple when he was on stage. All right, so what else did I want to point out in this documentary? Steven Spielberg was there. He did talk to Oprah Winfrey, and he got her take on. They were talking about how when he picked her, and he was like, "I had to have you." He basically was saying he had to have her. It would have been perfect. Only if she was in it, it would not have been the way it was. If she wasn't Sophia, and if Whoopi Goldberg wasn't Whoopi Goldberg, they didn't say anything about that. I'm going back for my girl. I'm going back for my girl. So they didn't say anything on the backs of Whoopi Goldberg. They didn't make any comparison. They did do some cutaway clips of showing them the original cast of The Color Purple sitting there doing a screen test. I thought that was really good, seeing Oprah with Whoopi and them talking and sitting there with Mista and everybody else. So I thought that that was nice in this behind the scenes story of The Color Purple. I can tell that Danielle Brooks was very appreciative of this opportunity. She just was so elated to be there, and it came out. Fantasia seemed so elated to be there when I saw it. Taraji, to me, she just seemed in professional mode. She wasn't like, "Oh, Oprah, thank you for giving me this job." I just really, she didn't. I didn't get that from her. It wasn't unappreciation, but I think she was just focused. She was trying to channel Suge Avery. So she was focused, and she did that, push the button. She shot that about 120 times, not to mention anything else she did. So she was laser focused to me, and I can tell that she was committed into giving this part her best effort. She was not undercutting it. She was not just doing anything or feeling like, yeah, I'm Taraji, yeah, I'm here. I didn't feel anything of that. I think she brought her best professional foot forward, but I can tell that she was not all in terms of like everybody else. Oh, and this. She wasn't there like that, because I think she experienced and witnessed a whole bunch of stuff that she know ain't right, and she knows she don't have these problems on CBS sets and other people's sets that she had on this set. I do think all of this was on the backs of Taraji's dismay. I really do think that. Who else do I want to touch on? So Steven Spielberg was there. I got to get to know this director. I don't know much about him other than him doing I Am King, which is Beyonce's movie. I know he came off of that movie to this movie. I don't know much about him, but I'm going to go back and find out about him. Because I need to find out what all these quiet voices are about. I need to find out about the silent people in the room. But I did want to get on here and clear Oprah's name. Yes, I'm sorry. She got to get clearance, because the stuff that she was getting blamed for was not indeed her fault directly, but by her being Oprah, we expected a better faux parenting process out of her, just like Barack Obama, first black president. So every black person in the world is looking at him like, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. So there's like a silent story being told, and if that story is not met, that's what we get. Because we know what y'all supposed to be doing. And it ain't even doing nothing behind the scenes. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Who gonna look out for me if you ain't looking out? Who on this set gonna look out for me if you ain't looking out for me? Who gonna say something? Who gonna say something? And then when I stand up and say something, I'm a problem. I'm gonna say something though. Had me outside for 12 hours with an ice pack. No, guess who snuck in the building? Your girl. Your girl snuck in the building. I am a featured character in here, and I need to be warmed up some. And they were shooting this. I work for the city. And where they were shooting this scene at, I was familiar with the building because I worked for the park district, and we were shooting this on a park district property. So I know how to get in the back door. So y'all wasn't gonna keep me outside freezing. So I got in there because it was too cold. 14 hours outside. But I understand the nature of how this works. So I get it. But you weren't gonna leave me outside. Okay, so all right, my lunch is almost over in here, but I did just want to get in here and say, so if you guys are interested, and if you are an avid cult follower of this thing, like I'm bringing it to you, go on, was it HBO, I think, and look for behind the scenes of Oprah Winfrey's Color Purple, and you will find the story. They didn't talk much to the guys. They talked to Corey. They talked to Mr. I don't even know his name yet. They're not even in my peak of interest yet till I get past some of this stuff, and I'll go back for when I do my movie comparisons probably. But I just wanted to give it from the studio's aspect of what happened, and to also release Oprah Winfrey from being blamed for such things. But I am gonna go find out who was in charge. I'm literally gonna go look on the credits and find out who was in charge of these trailers and craft services. That's what I'm gonna rag, because that was bogus. I gotta go. Just wanted to jump on here, coming to y'all from the break room. The next time y'all see me will be at the news table, the newsroom. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll talk to y'all later.